get overly repetitive or look for the same angles. This is a whole different team. They have to approach this as a whole new game. You know, it's not Envy. They play it actually quite a bit different than Envy's setup with Happy's quick rotations and obviously Smith's or Happy last night holding that op CT side. There's a bit of variety that they use that TSM don't. They need to just take it slow, feel out the pace that's going to come against them, and hopefully get an early read on them. Because again, if they start beating their head against the wall and getting into the habits they were into last night, TSM's just going to sit back and get all of the advantages on the peaks. So.
Also, TSM will also get the advantage here, and Knife Rounds exists as the last man left standing. I say, yeah, he will be. As TSM will take it, and, well, Device actually says that they want to stay. So TSM, they want to be the aggressors here. We did see this, well, restart the map.
Well, we will. We might as well.
Yeah. Okay, so, but TSM actually picking up the Ts. We know NiP, they did this the other night where they wanted to be the aggressors.
And it is...
Now we're into the same position.
And exactly. It is one of the maps you can get away with doing this. It's a lot more even. 8-7 should be the scoreline. In fact, 9-6 T-side isn't out of the realm of possibilities. Specifically if NiP was starting T-side. Maybe for TSM, 9 isn't something commonly we would look for. But we did just see them do an excellent job on their T-side Inferno. Point is, it's not, you know, Nuke. It's not Overpass. It's not a map where really your economy is going to be broken because it's just such hard angles to play. This is an even fight. You can actually force rotations. The bomb sites are spread out, so it's not like by buying into rounds and forcing into rounds, it's a guaranteed, you know, lost situation where you're already disadvantaged just positionally. The map has a lot of openings that can be forced and made, and specifically with this new meta where teams are giving up a lot more catwalk position, and we saw last night that was used over and over. That game, obviously that game was an exception in itself where it went 69 rounds, but an exception in catwalk was the most attacked position. Traditionally in CSGO, it's been that split from mid to B.
Yeah, and why is that moved off? Why is catwalk now our primary place?
I think, again, last night we kind of talked about the mentality. Teams wanted, there was one round when Happy was late rotating out of mid, and I thought one smoke might be enough to hold him back, give them an opening in toward that A site. I think at that point in that game, it was limiting mistakes. It wasn't really broken. Why fix it? They were playing the same level positioning. They knew where they were going to play. It became so repetitive on that A site that they knew what to expect.
Yeah.
And if they throw it up and throw the curveball and suddenly a home run gets nailed against them, it's going to be a big problem. So that game mentally is a whole different situation.
So we shouldn't read that and say, well, this is what NiP is going to do this time around. Just do it differently.
Again, it's going to come down to early reads. They've got to be able to, and that's where NiP needs to slow it back down again, figure out how TSM want to play it, and vice versa. I mean, if they are putting that cat presence on, then where do you place the op? Do you try and get that off angle just to hold it, let your mid eventually fall into a 2-1-2? And
yep.
We're going to get the trends picked up pretty early on, and I think, honestly, the team that can capitalize on the rotations of the CTs is going to be the team that walks away with this.
For me, I actually want to watch, actually something the guys on the panel were saying, watch for the AWPers on this map, especially Alu, because Alu, you look for those side pickoffs. Like, it would be like long A doors if you're going to be on the Ts, even on the CTs. Are these the initial frags you're talking about, or are you talking about actually getting down there with the AKs or the M4s and trying to control up mid? Because that was the other hot spot.
I'm not even so much worried about, obviously the early pick is important. You don't want to give away, specifically for T-side, you don't want to give away a player when you can try and thin out the defense. But I'm saying they need to figure out where the weakness is. Not even the early pick. If Happy's going to get caught out on the boxes, or if they start to get a little bit too confident with Smiths, and we saw them leave NBK up actually solo at long to leave Smiths back toward the A site, and Happy was the one that was rotating it. He was either on Goose or rotating into mid.
If I remember correctly, though, MBK didn't have much success in that position.
A lot of times he wasn't challenged because it was all commitment to Cat. So he was reasonable, and at least he distracted one of the NiP players. But if they start to read that Happy's getting more and more happy, pushing over toward B, if he's getting more comfortable doing that, then they can start to capitalize on that catwalk again, or potentially figure out a way to fake off that smoke. I think the drop play is going to come into massive effect based on the meta that both these teams play, where they do rotate out of A early. You're going to get a guy out of catwalk dropping in. Even on the B takes, that can be...
Exists once you, man.
Oh, I can. Sadokiss can stand in. Okay, all right. They don't know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah, especially when you're going to play here on a little touchpad.
That's right. I don't have a mouse. It's okay, guys. NiP magic. It's going to work.
It's the ultimate challenge.
That's
like,
right.
Not only have you got to stand in for a team in such a huge match, the winners bracket final here in Bucharest,
why not?
You've got to use a touchpad to play CSGO.
Channel my inner Swede. No, back to the point, though. I think with the skybox opening up, we haven't seen a lot of teams use it there is a smoke you can throw now from long doors without even really peeking out that lands just in the A side of CT spawn. That then would allow a cat player to drop in just with a pre-flash and instantly get there without being spotted. And then the mid to B becomes even stronger if they can catch off Happy in that play. But no one's really gone to that yet. I'm interested to see if that does develop because I've seen a lot of pro players on streams just pugging and stuff using that tactic, but it's yet to implement itself into in a high-level game.
Actually, speaking of mid, I kind of almost want to refer to something which I know Penta was doing a lot during the earlier qualifiers. This is back when they played with Dennis, that opt to do the mid-peak doors. Now, I think we only saw it maybe twice out of all of the 69 rounds yesterday.
You're talking about the boost? Or
yeah, I'm not even talking about the boost. I'm talking about like the walk into the mid-double doors and then trying to get the peek into Suicide Alley. It's kind of like completely evaporated.
Yeah, Smiths is really the only other player that has that style, and obviously we're not going to see him anymore in this tournament, but he's the French Rambo for a reason. He'll bait out that cross on the smoke and try and counterpick, and in fact, we saw Alu try and do it in response to him. That's another thing. Alu needs to be careful doing that because he got caught 3 times yesterday in doing that, and I mean, he goes down. It's his efficiency I really give him credit for, and he needs to stay alive and late into the rounds. Yeah, you're not really going to see a Dennis player in this game unless Ali wants to take that fight again. I can't see Device doing that so much on the CT side. I can only see Device trying to pick mid from T side.
Like,
really.
Even the mid pushes that came up, like, I know it was like an old classic kind of Fnatic thing. Like, you just take 2 up mid and you get in behind him in long A. And when you're playing on the CT side, of course. But not even that was there. The most aggressive push we saw was a look into upper dark. It wasn't even a full push into upper dark.
Yeah, we didn't see a whole lot of that early on. Again, as time expires, they will want to go on a reconnaissance and try and figure out exactly what's going on because the later the round goes on, the more likeliness of a rush and the more players you have to shut down a rush already on the bomb site.
Well, it looks like we're already underway. So unless my eyes deceive me, this is round number 1 of our second map now, with TSM having the advantage after taking the first one out in Inferno. Alu is already able to open up, and it's a very solid defense here by NiP. As Alu's actually managed to claim 4 already. Moving through upper dark, picks up the Tech 9, denied the ace. Device probably won't survive for much longer, however, as the rest of the CTs are chasing him down. He managed to flash up 3, but unfortunately for him, the bomb is stuck in lower dark, so there's just no way he can reach it to catch up. So the only choice he's got is trying to defend from upper dark, maybe get a couple of kills. But that's going to be hard ask. Get Right's going to shut him down, but Alu, nice aggressive push, and NiP, first round goes to them.
Alu's showing off some pistol skills. He's stepped up in a number of rounds already this weekend.
Do you wait for him to pick up this SMG and then just try and rack up the extra, like the AWP at, I don't know if you go to next round.
Remember, last night they tried to go 5 SMGs on this map, and it just doesn't quite work. There's too many long positions that the SMGs don't have the damage potential on. So this time they'll go with the 1 rifle.
But they double boost short.
Well, again, this is playing close angles. This will allow the SMGs to get into their prime position.
And that also allows them to spam down. That nade going to hit pretty, actually not even that hard. Looks like TSM were able to outrun the nade's position into the lower dark. As Forrest with his little spray of the MP7 keeping TSM back from the mid-double doors. But considering NiP boosted 2 players through short, it's a lot of confidence if TSM feel they can push not only through smoke, but into these 2 players. It's a fresh smoke coming down. Freiburg gets the MP7 out. 1, 2. Alu's there, and they just double-team TSM in the short.
Great hold. Lots of money gained from that. So already close proximity, catwalk under threat.
And they just stacked up perfectly. It's not even like 2 players on top of each other. They made it so TSM couldn't hit the right angle. Wide spray pattern and using the corners, using the cover properly. And
they're going to go right back to the same approach. Difference is this time we do have Galil's already forced up on TSM. This might be an attempt to try and read into the fact that NiP's not going to upgrade so soon.
And Alu just going on a full run. He's going to be shut down by Kerrigan. While Forrest now, he's got to do even more work here. He drops KGMB, and the bomb is actually sitting in front of the mid doors. So there was some information that came out from NiP while Get Right. Bird on a wire right now, waiting for them to push up through short A, but there's also 2 through long, and he's going to put the head down, but Dupree still able to find it. Forrest tried to be that little sneaky beaky guy in the smoke. But gets shut down by Dupree.
Great force buy. Getting the rifles out early, expecting NiP to hold on to those SMGs for 1 more, and then using it to full potential. They entirely caught them off guard. And Kerrigan will catch out Exist. Bomb went down just before that. Obviously not going to make too much difference, just the solo player.
Do you almost think, though, at NiP that, like, there's no way I want to call it an eco, but you just call it a trade round. Like, you understand that TSM's going to be buying up. If you win with the semi-automatics, then hey, that's fantastic for you. If you don't, you're still going to be able to buy up properly in the next round. Like, would you even look at that as a proper trade? Because you now got the double AWPs up from NiP. Like, you accept the fact you're probably going to lose an early round.
I think it's definitely worth a trade. You won the round. You can actually get rifles back. You see them pick up an M4, and you get a round on the board a lot earlier. They're going to be able to upgrade no matter what with these SMGs. You know they got a triple kill with one on Cat. There's money in their pocket. You might as well try and gamble and get a round. I mean, sure, if they don't get the round, then they look at themselves and go, okay, that doesn't work. But that's the whole point of a gamble. That's the whole point of a force buy. You're taking a risk, and risk versus reward is always the debate. That time they get rewarded for it.
Alu got some good information right then. He saw the fact that TSM were jumping back from over on the B side, bringing players to the A, and that's why NiP are looking to stack more players on the A. They're not dragging too many away from B, however, so it's still a 3-2 split, but they've completely, basically abandoned mid for this play.
It's been a while since we've seen Force go this early, at least, into a double op on Dust, so he's going to have that second one over on the B site, but Xyp9x has already found Get Right. Good to see him coming in early. He was the sort of lackluster performer, I guess you could say, on Inferno. Alu already taking a number of shots into him as well. 4 HP on Freiburg. He pops back up, but Freiburg with 4, that's all he needs! Cajun B device drop down. Kerrigan does get back. He has found his way up Catwalk. So it's a tough ask from Exist to come up from CT, and that leaves Forrest all by himself, but he's got this op.
Yeah, he does, but I'm going to say Kerrigan's got a Tech 9. Who wins on this one?
Well, right now, already a massive chunk of damage going in. You have to say Tech 9 has the advantage. No nades, though. If they could lob one nade out, it'd be over, and Forrest is actually just going to run away. He's going to hold this.
Save the AWP, get the hell out of there. Kind of felt like Get Right almost peaked a little bit too early. Like, he had his back in the corner waiting for the flashbang, but he turned around before the flash came so he could look through double doors. But the angle he had with Freiburg and himself was meant so that they would run past the blue box. Once they did that, then they can just start pummeling into him. So maybe a little bit of impatience from NiP. But this is now going to make it 2 rounds to 2, so we get to even things up. But Forrest gets to save the AWP.
And again, now you can look to that force buy again. Risk versus reward. They get a round out early. They also pick up the rifles from that, and they use them to full effect. This was quite gorgeous. That team flash popped around the corner, and actually his pop flash blinded off the 2 that were already pushed up in by the dumpsters. So took full effect of his own flashbang. But again, that force buy, it gets the guns out. It breaks the economy down of NiP already. Force does save the AWP. That's all they have to work with. We'll see how they try to. He's going to play at the backside of this smoke.
Can't see him. Had the line for Forrest, but it wasn't Device giving him the peek. He waited back around the corner. Got a quite heavy movement about to come towards the mid, whereas Kerrigan's managed to secure lower dark. Device does get that pick up on Forrest. The AWP is, however, saved in the hands of Alu, who now backs up as quickly as he possibly can, taking out Kerrigan. So TSM might think twice about coming through mid as Get Right from top of short, taking down Device and instantly backing up. They try and keep the one-man advantage as long as possible.
Xyp9x now wants to take this fight with Freiburg, who is, again, proximity using this pistol close range to his advantage, pardon me, as Get Right actually got the kill there, so getting support from the side. Cajun B, though, does get up Catwalk. That's Get Right to drop.
But this is still a good position for NiP. You've got the AWP, you've got the M4 in the hands of Alu and Freiburg.
The smoke out, though, does let Dupree play a lot more aggressively on this angle, and we've seen so many times players come around already pre-aimed up toward the higher ground, and if Dupree, okay, he's fallen off it.
Yeah,
Dupree had to stay there, he had a chance.
He's worried about long, because Freiburg's pushing up there. Even Exist has managed to pick up an AK. Now they shut down Freiburg. Alu gets the pick on Dupree. 2-on-1, Cajun B. There's your jumps coming up. They're trying to get Cajun B to expose himself to that AWP on short, but Cajun B takes out Exist, but there's no more time for Alu to get the defuse. So he'll get the kill on Cajun B, but nothing more.
One step too far. He actually potentially could have got down long if he had stayed alive. I doubt Alu would have let him escape either way, but again, Dupree was very smart. Even taking that fight with Alu slows down that retake. He lets, once the player at long dies down, he lets Cajun B take that one-on-one with Exist, and then he just does his job. They channel it down. Get rid of the man advantage and then take your own fight, and that works perfectly to delay the time. So 3 rounds already, T-side TSM, and this is where NiP needs to step back up because we saw them have problems in exactly this position on the last map. Smoke does go out. Device can't find the early shot.
Yeah, they flush him back out of those long A doors quickly. But NiP, TSM, they come in already. Get Right with that pistol. He's able to get the first one on Dupree, but it's not going to stop him from taking the entire B side. Xyp9x and Cajun B, they're the ones claiming the kills, and Alu, last man left with a proper weapon, being that AWP of his. And Freiburg Copping a nade to the chest. Down to 14 HP. Kerrigan's waiting for him to show. He just saw the leg, and Freiberg jumping out. Freiberg, whoa! Kerrigan pulling to the right. Cable must have got caught on something.
They were both a little blinded up as well.
And all Ali wants to do is hold on to this AWP now. There's no reason to engage.
Yeah, so he'll have to fall away with it, but watch out because Cajun B is still on the chase. And it's going to get there, so they'll knock it away from him. So another small victory for TSM.
Yeah,
Stringing rounds together hurts CTs a lot more as well. When the T side gets momentum going like this, again, it's a lot more expensive economy on CT side. They can't let this get too far out of hand. Or you're going to look at the exact same situation where they start to rely on the money bonus just to keep them in rounds. And then you, not only that, to keep them in rounds, you've got to win 2 successive, and already that's becoming a bit of an issue. So at least keep this back and forth.
Both teams at least have the full weapons for their economy right now. Ninjas in Pajamas again with this smoke on the B side. Stopping TSM from pushing in as TSM, well, they do have the bomb over at least in dark. But it's a very short hop, skip, and a jump to get it over to short. But Ninjas in Pajamas, they're perfectly spaced. You get the 2 to commit into mid now as Forrest does come a little bit closer. But the 2 on the long A, making sure there's no late push coming in from TSM. And now Get Right. That's a good thing Device doesn't have X-Ray. Get Right just had a bit of a peek, that's all.
And he's actually, again, this is the position that really matters if Catwalk's going to come under contest. He's already fallen up, and he's gotten to A for free before they're even around the corner. So this looks good for NiP with Freiberg taking down Kerrigan. It means Alu can now fully focus on the elbow. They have gotten out that far. Device does get right. Okay, so this is turning back because no shots hit from Alu, so a little bit of luck goes the way of TSM, and they're going to get this bomb plant and have Cat secured.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they planned for as well. Forrest and Freiberg, quick pickups. Freiberg takes another one. The AK over the tip, and Exist wraps it up, and TSM, they're going to be wondering how the hell did Ninjas in Pajamas just get those shots?
Talk about a commentator's curse. That looked perfect for NiP, it looked horrible for NiP, and then they pull it off anyway. Great shots on the retake, more so from ramp. That's a hard angle to hit when they're playing on the backside of Cat.
Well, you've only got the heads to aim at, and that's all they really hit. You're right with Alu's shots. He kept falling back. He went for 2 of them, missed both, and they looked almost great.
And that's why that spot is so good, because as they get aggressive, you can still control the angle. You just fall further and further down long and don't get caught out. Whereas if you play more aggressively up on the site, the closer they get to you, the more trouble you're in. There's nowhere to go. So that's why you see a lot more ops play from that spot now to hold off Cat. And with Get Right in position over toward Goose, I thought that was perfect because he'll distract them. If Get Right doesn't peek out too soon, he just waits for them to get close, pops out with the rifle, but instead he went down. That's when things looked quite interesting. But Freiberg and Forrest, awesome shots to retake the site.
But, okay, so we look at TSM. We have this pause. They sit there and they think back on the rounds past. What's the biggest lesson they're trying to learn right now?
Again, they've got to get a read on how Get Right's going to rotate. That time he read them perfectly and was already back out of mid. They didn't see anything up toward Catwalk. They had that second player pulled outside. I think it was Forrest that was pulled outside of B, already looking up on Cat and said, okay, I don't see anything mid. There's nothing called at B. There's not even a smoke inside the tunnels to indicate that they want to prevent us from pushing through. Process of elimination, Get Right rotates early, just takes, I don't even think there was a full read. It was just a gamble and the fact that, okay, based on the timing, based on the habits that they've had, they have to be here. And he gets back over there quickly. It didn't quite go the way that it was planned, but it was, again, TSM needs to be aware of exactly that, how they're going to get the read and if they can force rotations. Because if they can start to force rotations, if Get Right does leave too soon, then mid's open.
Yeah. Well, this pause gets to drag out a little bit longer. I don't know if there's, it doesn't look like there's any hardware problem. So again, it's another one of these discussions. And maybe just even just to break up the momentum again. Like, you just had a round like that, and they paused instantly. The second those AK shots hit, the pause command came out straight away. Yeah. They were just like, okay, guys, settle down. Don't let NiP get behind this.
No, 100%.
Because that's when NiP are going to start to get vocal, and all of a sudden it's like, yes!
Yeah, and again, we saw NiP struggle to get back in early on the last map. This one, they're already doing it. They don't let the money bonus get up to full against. I know it sounds like, why would you not want a full money bonus? The problem is, in CT side, chances are you're letting the economy build the whole time for the T's in doing that, and as soon as you break it, you still have to, unless you break it with a flawless round, you still have to invest a lot in the next one. If you don't win that, you're right back to square one. You get, what, 1 round out of breaking that, and then the momentum still stays with TSM. So by keeping it close early, they can actually get these back-and-forth exchanges. They don't let the economy go too far away to TSM's side, and they can, I know it sounds weird, they can afford to give up a round as opposed to be completely screwed as the numbers build up against them. So this was a good comeback. Again, up to 3 rounds earlier. Last time it took them until round 14 and 15 to pick up rounds 3 and 4. So as long as they stay composed, stay calm. Now, TSM, the question is, do they slow things down and try and pick into B?
Well, if you could attempt that, but at the same time, you're going up against Forest in there, and the smokes have been perfectly, all the way up into Upper Dark too. So you can't get any kind of vision. You can't walk up. And what's the chance of an NiP player sitting right there in front of the smoke or playing an aggressive posture? And
that's the thing. I mean, you got to, again, find the way and the habits of which they're playing that. Because there is counter smokes you can bounce off the archway inside the tunnels at B that land deep enough to cover off the whole backside of the site. All you have to worry about is the box on platform on your way in. And if you're coming in with numbers, then the second player covers off closet. Then you're in the site. Window's your second point of contention. You come around, you flash out through the smoke on that, you get in, you get the bomb plant, and then they have to play for the retake. So as long as they can read Forrest's habits, they might be able to make something out of it. Now, Forrest is very good at changing things up. He doesn't necessarily love that box spot unless he has usually a scoped piece of rifle, auto sniper, op, whatever. Then otherwise he's playing backside, and he's not scared to get up close near the car or to the closet. And that's where he catches a lot of people off. That's where he can be very effective because it is extremely hard to read his defensive style.
Well, it's time to get back into it. The pause is over, so everything is okay. And Team Solo mid, as I'm watching that 16-15 count now going to 1 pause. So they do have a bit of a, we actually heard now, yes, too. It's the E-bot that's giving us a bit of a hiccup. But luckily it's not a full throw-up. It's just a hiccup.
Relax that diaphragm. Hold your breath, count to 10, E-bot. I'll give you $200 if you can hiccup right now.
I can't do it.
You can't hiccup under pressure.
You'd never want to hiccup during a broadcast. Could you imagine a team fight every 3 seconds you have to hiccup?
Yeah, that'd be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
That's actually like my new greatest fear. Thanks, Toby.
I'm sorry.
You've ruined my life.
Alligators will be your second one.
Okay, so we are going to actually go back to this double op now for NiP as well. So watch for Forrest inside B. I expect him to go all the way in. He may still lurk to play support. So yeah, initial pick toward mid, and then he'll probably head in. Alu's there as well, though. So both ops head toward mid. Look at the damage to Kerrigan. Oh, 2 HP.
He is so low, and Freiburg, all he needs is basically a wisp of damage to kill him off, and it's not going to happen. In fact, he managed to get back out. Kerrigan with 2 HP got back into the long doors, and Freiburg still thinks he's there. He's still looking towards the corner.
And they are going to play this differently. In fact, Exist is the one that's on the back platform B, so they still have Forrest to support in mid.
Freiburg believed in that so much, he pushed all the way up to check the dumpster.
Watch out in middle. They're grouping. They want through.
Yeah, but Forrest's angle is perfect, so there's your first pickup. Taking out Device, looks for the second, gets him too. Cajun B goes down. And then he even looks towards the Upper Dark. That's where Dupree kills off Exist. A little bit off target this time from Forrest as, well, Dupree tries to rush him down. The pistol, USB's not enough, but Get Right's there to mop up the rest. Can they save both orbs? Yes, they can. 4 rounds to 4. NiP hold.
And this was a good change of pace. They actually went 2 ops mid initially, 1 over top of the smoke, 1 in front of it. We saw Alu go for the aggressive pick, and then they fanned back out. So they let the rifles support at the bomb sites initially for any rush potential, but then Forrest hung around. Once they gave up mid completely, Exist had already made himself nested into the back of sight. So Forrest then was, I expected him to play it from window, but the door was even better because at that point they were fully committed to pushing through. So even if he went down, Get Right was inside CT at that point.
So there was a plan B. Right now, Team Solo mid. Plan A is to go for mid doors, but they've just lost their player on long A. Arlo and Forrest teaming up and Get Right. The perfect line. It is just pistols right now from Team Solo mid. What's more important for NiP, not a single weapon shall be lost here. I take that back. Forrest is actually going to get dropped.
But this is the economy build they're looking for.
Yep. Got 8.3K now over on Arlo as he starts to spend a bit of it for this round.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what they look for in this, and they recover that second op as well. They won't have to rebuy out on that. Get Right is still a little bit strapped for cash. He's on 1,400, but you also saw Get Right, by the way. That was one of the new smokes you can actually throw without that skybox. So from the boxes on the ramp all the way over to long, that's one extra way you can now support long without actually committing a body to it. And then he's quicker to get back to mid, and we saw what happened when he got there.
This is this moment again we're talking about. That smoke is so far up and Upper Dark. Even if TSM do have, as they do now, 4 players over in Upper Dark, it doesn't look like there's any way they can advance onto Exist, and they go towards middle. and Forrest is already looking there like a hawk.
So Forrest waits. Device gonna walk out into it. Device actually gets it. So the aggressive op comes out on top. Now Get Right's under a lot of pressure on Catwalk, although they aren't gonna push forward. They just flash him off. He gets stuck in the corner. That Molotov though, don't bounce too far.
He just saw, he got a glimpse of Device. Device jumped him. In fact, now Device goes for the pickoffs and he has to walk back through the fire. Get Right. No choice but other than to retreat. A TSM. Now they're gonna try and have a crack over next to Exist. Into the B side. Exist can't get the first one. Fair amount of damage into Device as well as Dupree, but they're onto the side. Alu's looking for the cross position, but the smoke is just blinding them out. Get Right up through window from above. Can't do the job again. These shots not connecting. At least not enough to get the kills. And Alu and Freiberg have got only one choice. Fall back, save weapons.
And we talked about their economy building, but play it passive at this point. You don't want to give away too much more. You still have a round lead right now. Cajun B wants to do battle with Alu, and Alu's up for the task.
Cajun B was prepped for that shot too. The big shot really was Device in mid. The fact that he was able to game that, he was walking into it. Like the prep was all there from Forrest instead.
And Get Right almost caught him out when he jumped on top of the boxes to hold the reverse angle, but smartly he got out of there. He didn't stick around and try and take the fight on a secondary peek. They already had positioning. They already had the man advantage, and with the amount of Molotovs, Get Right had no worry. If he pushes that far forward, there's two other rifles waiting for him, and he has to go back. So they knew that he was out of the picture. He had to go for a long rotation and then just get into B as a response. But we got another pause coming out.
Yeah, not entirely sure what's wrong. Might just be a headphone thing. Might be something else. Either way, we do keep it now leveled up. We got through 2 or 3 rounds. We managed to advance ourselves a little bit further forward.
I do know that we did get a word in our ear that eBot did have that hiccup, like you said. I do know that it was something weird because I actually couldn't rejoin the server based on a lobby queue, but that's now disappeared. So that was probably part of eBot's issue. So I'm just getting back in. So hopefully I can.
Means we can have our extra information.
Well, exactly. We can see what the
for.
players are saying a little bit more through consoles. So
yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Here after our break, it is time to get started again. 5 rounds to 5 is where we left it. And let's get directly into the game because we're already up and running. Ninjas in Pajamas versus TSM. TSM being 1 map up right now. And we had, would you believe it, some eBot problems, Atticus.
He's temperamental today.
Yep. Got issues. Serious issues. But at the same point, we will be playing through this round. We'll have to have a restart at the end of the round just the way the eBot is working. So we'll play through this and then we'll have a restart. Sorry, end of the half. Sorry, not round.
So they'll finish out the half with eBot for this, but at the end it would actually, unfortunately, stop calculating totals, so we'll do a restart at halftime. Nonetheless, 5-5 our score, and look at this. Get Right didn't even go to long this time. He's already up close, and it's going to be Exist to support. That means Forrest this time will get back on the platform with the op, so he's got the tunnel completely covered off. That's going to make things hard for Dupree. He's going to be so careful. Luckily, that smoke comes out late.
Yeah, and Get Right, he doesn't get vision in time.
But this is exactly the play. Yep. This is exactly what we talked about. Get Right's overcommitted to it, and now they can get up Catwalk. It's all on Alu.
Alu's got to do so much, and well, he does number 1, pops that high flash. In fact, he's going to throw 2 of them out there, and he gets the vision, can't get the second pop, but the grenade will slow the push down. Freiberg did his work by stopping Zipnix from getting in through long A. And now Dupree, the only choice he's got is to try and chase Get Right into that CT spawn. Throws out the nade, but Get Right already sees it coming and backs the hell up.
Well, and the problem, too, is if he chases Get Right, even just to hold him in position, it's Forrest to hold him. And look at that!
Get Right!
What an absolute brilliant shot onto Cajun B. That first one was huge. And again, you talked about it. If Dupree comes out and holds Get Right in place, the reason he can't is Forrest is behind him. Imagine he gets to hold them there. Those 2 shots don't come in. They get the bomb plant easily, so subtle differences. Dupree can't do anything to slow down Get Right, and man, what a shot from him.
Yeah, he loves that. With how many highlight clips have we seen of Get Right where he just does that little jump, and now a very quick move from Forrest.
Watch the op.
Yeah, he's going to see if he can get that pick, but at the same time, they're on tech. 9s exists, a good nade hit. He's able to find only 1. He's only got 5 bullets left inside this clip. The flashbangs keep coming out. He needs to switch over to the USP. Can't finish the job, but support comes in from Get Right. There's only Dupree left. They bang through the smoke on the doors, unable to see anybody. And, well, Dupree keeps the spray going. That bomb on the corner, and there's the nade in from Forrest. Kills him without even having to see him.
That's one of those decision times. Again, a lot of people debate M4A1 versus M4A4. If you don't hit the initial shots, like, obviously Exist got the first kill, but if he whisks a lot on the second, you're in a really tight position. Like you said, he only had 5 bullets left in the magazine, and he has to pick his shot. Had to switch over to the pistol. Luckily, strong retake and an equal hold when they tried to cross over to the backside of the site. Forrest this time looks to peek toward mid again.
Yeah.
actually did go for the initial pick, but right back to that catwalk angle.
After he realized the smoke was off, he got a glimpse of one player. Now they run through mid. Get Right. Remember, it's only pistols only. And Get Right as well as Forest, they just team up. They got the perfect crossfire in the mid doors as suicide for them. Xyp9x was able to get up through short, but Alu was waiting for him, leaving the last man standing, Dupree, who cops a nade and almost cops the bullet from Alu. Instead, it'll be Freiburg that mops up the rest of them. And NiP Gaming, quick rounds in succession. They go 8 rounds to 5, but money is now here for TSM.
Well, it's getting there. Remember, it was 3, 1, and then 3, so the money bonus never really accumulated into a full total. It does benefit the T side a lot more. But they'll get 5 AKs out, no less, and then 5 smokes, a whole lot of flashes. Oh, I thought Exist might get cheeky and actually push into lower tunnels right there through that smoke. He thinks better of it.
Yeah, instead he'll stick with Forest inside the B site. Trying to play a little bit more defensive while Alu is the man. Moving up aggressively with that AWP into Cat. He had a look into lower dark to see what TSM were up to, get some level of information.
Well, and this changes things again because this leaves Get Right at long, so it changes how mid is going to be played, and that means TSM have to read it early. They can't look for this over-rotation from Get Right like they tried to do on Catwalk last round, or rather 2 rounds ago, excuse me, but Freiburg's still up at long. He's going to hold from pit. He's very patient in that position. That also means Xyp9x has a lot harder time coming in to support the take, and they pretty much have to win the fight outright against Get Right.
Alu's backing up. That Molotov's really going to screw around with TSM as more flash is still available here for Get Right. Spamming out, finds Cage and B. They're moving up in his position, however. Needs to reload quickly. He's got support from Freiburg, putting that AK from long A to good use. Can't find the kill, however, but now Freiburg, he does. The bomb plant does go down, but there's 3 players left. Let's make that 2. As Alu finds him with the AWP. Dupree waiting for him. Up on Goose, Dupree takes out 1, looking for the second through the barrels. Get Right, he is going to drop. And it's all up to Dupree, the last man standing. He's sitting inside the smoke, going to pick up the 3rd. No, he cannot. The defuse will come in for NiP. They keep 3 alive, and they hold on to one of the AWPs. They will be able to pick up the second, though. It's sitting over on ramp. And they actually decide not to. They leave it with the AK and the M4. They left the AWP sitting there. It's the last round of the first half now.
Oh,
Actually, just buy it anyway.
NiP's in full control at this point.
No auto sniper. Disappointed.
I mean, they've gone for it before on this map in exactly this position when they've got the economy working for them and on the last round. Saw what MBK can do with it on the last round. Had that ace on overpass. I think that was at EPL. There's been too many LAN events recently.
When NiP bought it on this map last night, it was just so they could stop,
change spam through the doorway. Yeah, that was pretty. That was T side though, but
yeah, that was wishing, hoping, thinking, praying that he can get one of the B crosses. At TSM, so last round for them of this first half. They need something with only 3 AKs, a Galil and a Tech 9. There's not much to work with. Not when you're going up against 2 AWPs.
Keep in mind, this was 4-2 at one point, so NiP definitely adapted well. And once they got the rifles fully working in their advantage.
Well, Freiburg, he's seeing the nades fly over, but every time Freiburg's come here, it's been with 2 flashes. He grabs one with a headshot. There's that second flash I was talking about, keeping him blind. They do move out, however, Xyp9x. And he'll mop up Freiburg, but the damage is done to the T's. Get Right's waiting. He's not a healthy man. He took a lot of that damage when he was at mid-doors. The flashbangs are coming in. And they're really just trying to slow down this long A. Buying time for Alu to rotate out, and Get Right has a peek, keeps the spray going. He got 1 to put his 8 life points to work. The Xyp9x, the last man up now for TSM, and Alu is about to take his life, and there it is. 10 rounds to 5.
And look how staggered the flashes were that entire round from NiP.
Welcome back, everybody, after what was another extended pause. We are here to continue second half of map 2.
Sounds like there's still a few enthusiastic people about that.
Yeah.
So the round count, is going to start off at 0. I'm not sure if it's going to reset after the first game, or pardon me, after the first round or not, but it was a 10-5 scoreline for NiP coming off their CT side. This looks very good for them. Pistol's going to be important. Again, economy working in the favor of TSM is something they have to get going early on. But it needs to be, okay, so it's just a spectator bug. Ebot has it. We know where we are. We'll keep you updated. Don't worry about it.
We just have to remember in our heads.
Yeah, it's hard work.
Just say it 3 times quickly. 3 times quickly.
Oh, Cajun B actually does a little bit of damage to Freiburg, gets the information they're crossing over. And Kerrigan gets flashed off long, so he'll fall all the way back down. Watch this cat push as well. Get Right's getting in position. Already a smoke out to delay it, but they're in decent. Okay, well, they were in decent position down below Catwalk. Now they're in a bit of a hairy position because they have to work out from the backside of CT spawn. Nice shot by Device, though. Does catch Freiburg on the backside. That gives them the man advantage.
Yeah, that it does for now. And, well, still, NiP, they got the players ready to come up through Cat. There's only one flashbang remaining for Get Right. He's been the first one. Forest making him look up towards the long A. And for some reason, TSM are all holding hands down in CT spawn. They don't like this positioning. So instead, they try and go for the flank. Look towards the short, look towards, actually not even the long. They're going to bring everybody up through that short area, and Get Right's waiting for him. Stars firing at the bullets. The flashbangs do come in. They have to try and hold tight right now. Being attacked from multiple sides exists. Working here with Get Right. They've still got another 3 players left. Forest is the man playing on long, but exists playing up on close. And it's only Forest and Alu left. And they're both playing from the long side. They have to stop this defuse from happening, and they're trying to. They're using their bodies to block it, but debris and Device. They're getting the shots. Alu as well. Ninjas in pajamas. The pistols can work at range.
Didn't even matter about the other 2 players aside from the diffuser. That was the kill that mattered. No kid. He had to hold for 10 seconds, and I think that was about a 6-second hold, so that really did make the difference.
What a big round as well for NiP. Now they go 11-5. Ignore the spectator bug. You can read the score down the bottom left corner at the end of every single round. So Ninjas in pajamas with the pistols. They're going to be picking up, well, at least the scouts. In fact, we've got ourselves a bit of a scout war as actually Device gets tagged up very heavily. Down to 15. Dupree's not looking too healthy either on 57.
Get Right trying to bait out some information that long. Does so successfully. Kerrigan takes a few shots. That gives it away. He's actually going to push even further than that. Let's Get Right on that MAC-10. Tries to deal damage in return, but watch out. Exist already getting into position with Freiburg. Smoke to go out. They'll drop the bomb just not to be caught out with it, and AK going to lead the charge.
Wow, and what a perfect position for the smoke. Covering up the CT spawn. They throw out some extra ones as well. And, well, shooting into that smoke. They're a little bit worried. It's Zipnix who was sitting inside of it. Get Right, watching the flanks. He's reloading a little bit too early. Yep, it is. It's going to be Kerrigan that gets out to get the kill on him. But the plan is still down. And the 4 players from NiP, they have the high ground all across Cat. Over towards Goose as well. And where's TSM going? They've got themselves one semi-auto as well as the scout. Looks like they're only in positions to get exit frags.
Yeah, no, I mean, hardly even that. Cajun B has gone all the way back to T-spawn. He just checked out of the round. He doesn't want anything to do with it. Zipnix might be the only one to come under some pressure. Device back in B, hoping to get someone through the doors, but again, no one's really going to come under threat here. Everyone's going to hold station. That bomb's going to detonate. Does Alu get far enough away? Yeah, he does. He'll get far enough. He's got full HP.
Yep. So everyone lives to fight another day. After Kerrigan just had a little bit of a peek through lower dark. And this now makes it 12 rounds to 5. Ninjas in pajamas. They're getting a lot of momentum behind them. And right now, the only people to get kills over on TSM for the first 2 rounds is only Device and Kerrigan. Dupree, Zipnix, as well as Cajun B. Still 0 on the board for this second half. It just doesn't mean that much when you're running the pistols, but still.
Well, and we mentioned, though, getting an economy start for TSM was important. That goes without saying. The pistol has to kickstart it. Without that, they're playing not only from behind, but from in the grave, trying to dig themselves out of the hole they've created. So Get Right again, spams away. It's Kerrigan on the receiving end of it. Doesn't take a whole lot of damage. His Device is actually taking more with that scout, down to 66 for him. Dupree has picked up the MAC-10.
Yeah, it was that early nade that came into long doors that caused them the issues. But Ninjas in pajamas. They still want to play the pick game. While Alu's there with the scout, they just want the early hit, lighten up the load of the defense of TSM. They don't always have to try and battle through Cat, even though it's been very successful for them in the first 2 rounds. But this time, TSM, they've actually got players on the side. So they're not going to play it from down on CT ramp. Alu's just having that little bit of a jump look. I think he's just caught a glimpse of them at the moment. It is Zipnix in the back corner.
Look at Alu trying to get up above.
He's got the help. Forest looking towards long. Kerrigan's going to be giving a little bit of vision around there. But they got to look up, and there it is. Freiburg can't get their better hand of Zipnix. In fact, he's going to get 2 here from NiP. Gerright and Forest able to level things up, but the plan's still going to go down, grabbing that AK into the hands of Alu. They try to battle up against Long, just gets brought down. And Forest is the last man left standing, brings down Kerrigan. He's been done from 2 sides. Looking in towards short, where Device runs out. Device goes down quickly, and Forest is the pistol from Zipnix.
Oh,
he switches up the gun! He picked up the gun and started to pull that pin back.
6 HP, 1 bullet, he had it inside the magazine. There's 20 bullets in a 5.7 clip, and he goes... I mean, that's almost one of those ones where it's like you forget to toggle off the switch to more powerful weapon when it's picked up. That mistake when you load a new config. He just switched way too prematurely there.
Oh my, oh
that's
my,
a disaster.
Oh my.
They executed that very well. They limited their positions. They took one-on-one picks with the pistols. They didn't allow trades to go against them, and they were in... I mean, that's tragic.
That's nightmare material right there. Maybe they can bring it back now. They do have 5 M4s. available. So TSM, just pull the heads in. 13 rounds to 5 right now. They're not looking great. But if they can hold this round, maybe it's enough. They got to hold the guns anyway, so they got to win this round. 4 rounds in a row to go down. Get right. Getting dinked up quite heavily there. Carrigan's the man playing from down the pit. And Get right. He's just waiting for the rest of his team to push up through, either through the short with the drop. Like, that's only the real place they can go. They can't control the mid doors. Get right is going to go down. The flashbang, Freiburg, just straight down. He did fire off, and he knows that someone else is there, but Zipnix will get the upper hand. But NiP, they still, again, are able to maintain the control of Catwalk, keeping TSM on the low ground.
Yeah, and with that drop player, Zipnix isn't able to get much further. This forces Kerrigan back to an off angle, but look at them come in with numbers. They all come up the ramp together, and they are just going to mop them up. Alu lasts the drop. And we go back to highlight yesterday against Fnatic. It was Zipnix who had a lot of pressure put on him from that CT position, and today he catches the player and drop. Yesterday there was a few rounds he wasn't successful in doing it. He did get the kill. It was a bit awkward, but he got it this time. That changes things massively.
I don't think they really want to relive this moment. They really don't want to relive this moment. 4 bullets left in the clip, and yep, there it is again. That's just cruelty.
I mean, you have to think that gun's far enough away that you're going to be showing. You're going to be exposed when you go for it. So if you're going to pick it up, don't switch to it right away. Even shoulder bait and try and fall back on it. I just...
Let's move on.
I can't even. There's not much to say.
All right, so defense again from Ninja Pajamas. That B. Very, very tight in the defense. Do have Zipnix holding in close on doors. Also trying to listen out for any movement coming out from NiP. The commitment from TSM is still heavier over towards the A. Even though that player is Kerrigan, who's down on long. Zipnix again. Up comes the smoke. Flash onto KGB, and already NiP. They're out in force, 4 of them. But already KGB, can he get more? He has to switch over to the USP. Couldn't do enough with the initial clip. No time to reload either. They're all getting flashed up, so hiding behind the boxes. And then NiP, they've managed to brute force their way through Catwalk. It's a 2-on-2. Exist has more life, but he's playing from Goose. Gonna drop a device. Quick succession, gets the defuse out. And TSM, their second round now here in the half.
Well, device... He has to be consistent all the way through. He's stepping up now. It's KGB who's actually trailing off. He wasn't able to connect on those shots, and we praised him on Inferno for being patient, for letting the play come to him. That time he tries to force the peak, and unfortunately he gave himself with very few bullets to work with. Had to switch to the USB, but they hold true.
That's a full buy round for both sides.
So keep in mind,
AKs.
Keep in mind as well, the actual score now is 13-7, still favoring NiP.
Yeah, they're still a long way ahead, but TSM is a CT side that can get rounds in succession. Hold the momentum. That's what it's all about for them. Keep these guns up. And again, Ninjas in Pajamas, they have to look back towards that mid area and up through Cat. Quite an aggressive move up from Freiburg, but who's really there to stop him? It's the AWP of KGB. That's what's sorry, actually, it's Zipnix back on the back line. That's only with the M4. KGB is in fact keeping that AWP a lot closer towards mid. And Alu can't get the pick. There's just no vision for them. 52 seconds left on the clock. And there's that spot from KGB. Watching the mid doors.
And he often picks up the CT side up for them, so we saw it yesterday. He's going to go for it again. A little bit of a different approach. They leave Zipnix. Now they're going to rotate them off. So they left Zipnix initially on the A site because they thought there was going to be more presence toward mid. Now they'll change it back. KGB will find himself that off angle, but they need to be careful because Cat isn't necessarily what's under threat. Device is still making a lot of noise. Peeking Dupree spotted up force. He has to change back.
Whoops.
Damage is dealt, but does Device get in position fast enough? Yes, he does. So based on the call, he'll get there. Meanwhile, on the other side, KGB's already found one. Dupree's going to chime in as well, and Device closes off the round.
Terrific play by TSM. Terrific play. Just patience more than anything else there. And that brings it now to 8-13. TSM getting back-to-back rounds. The money is starting to boost up a little bit more, while Ninjas in Pajamas are going to be forced to be a little bit more sparse with their purchases.
I mean, I know we're kicking a dead horse going back to that. I still have to wonder these guys are running computers that aren't theirs, implementing their configs. You got to wonder if he left the auto switch toggle button on in that round. You really do. Zipnix this time, and he's making up for it, making gains as he catches out Freiburg early on. Smoke will extinguish the flames and
further
the delay. But look at this. Here we go again. Catwalk again from NiP.
Yeah, Cajun B, there's number one. Looking for more, but it's also the drop down. There's number two. And get right, the last man left standing, and he's not standing for very long.
Perfect play from Zipnix to cover off that drop. Cajun on the off angle this time. Actually, the more traditional angle in the history of CS. Not so much in CSGO lately, but at the boxes. And makes good work of it. The boxes do work. You can still control your peak, much like I said at long. You can control the angle because you can use one or the other depending on whether they're at the elbow or still on the initial entry. But the problem is if you get overwhelmed, there's nowhere to run to in reverse. You start to have to get those close shots happening. So he hit them early, and with Zipnix supporting on that drop down, it makes an easy hold. I mean, I think Zipnix has to hold every round from that position. Has to be perfect from him.
Cajun
and already this
down.
time, yeah.
In comes NiP. Freiberg able to win from up on top of Caddy. Will be dropped, but it's still now a 4-on-3 situation. The flashes from Device try and slow that cat push as he waits for the drop man again. And, well, it's not going to help him. There's no reason to drop. Carrigan getting taken out in long A. And the bomb is moving up to the side. Device finds the frag. Exist spamming into the smoker. Device on 3 HP will survive. But the bomb planted for the short approach. And get right, she's going to die on that front, so it's 2-on-2 now. The AWP is still in the hands of Alu. He's looking for the hit on Device, but Device, he knows he's got 3 HP. He's got to let, well, I'd say, he's got to let Dupree do the work, and there it is. Walking in through short, the M4 goes to work, and he retakes against NiP.
And he'll jump off it and go grab the AWP.
Save the big weapons.
The shots are looking awesome now for TSM. At the start of this match, even at the start of this second half, they weren't necessarily hitting. We saw Cajun B look a little bit antsy on that peak toward the A site when they came out from Cat. Now they're settling into it. Dupree showing off that he's going to contribute as well as he comes back over from B. And that's the other thing. We haven't seen a lot of B presence in this game. Again, it's all catwalk and mid-contests.
Yep. How long does it take until NiP try that?
Exactly.
And how long is it going to take until TSM try and feel it coming that way? Oh, Forrest, so quick. So quick. These nades are flying his way, though. They know he got through.
But now the problem is, because they're so quick, Zipnix isn't even in the drop position. This puts more pressure on Cajun B again. Zipnix gets the first. Cajun B is not going to be fooled. Freiberg does get caught, but Zipnix has to fall back. He's gotten the space to do it. Cajun B's already down, so no op to hold.
Yeah, really tight defense now, but NiP, they're up on the side. Alu putting the plant down. Kerrigan's going to move up, so a 2-on-4. The TSM, all they want to do is just see one small head to peek it. And Get Right's the man who's coming closest to it. And now up comes, oh, Get Right. The AWP from point blank takes down Kerrigan. Zipnix showing himself that bottom box, best Device as well as Zipnix. The perfect crossfire. They'll come in for the defuse. And TSM, they're dragging it back. It's almost even. It's almost even on the rounds. It's going to be, in fact, we just get our update now.
13-10.
13-10.
Well, sorry, post this, it'll be 11. That's right.
Yep. So 2 rounds the difference.
Zipnix, they had to win that fight at long. Once he got stuck there based on Forrest getting really quickly inside past the doors, that leaves, again, the CT on that drop position open. Device has to read it quicker to compensate and get back to CT. He was getting there. He was slowly getting over there, but Cajun was already down in that position. So by winning that long fight, by Kerrigan winning against Forrest, Zipnix actually did then get the opening to fall off and still control the A site. So they won the battle they had to, and long really is where that took place and transpired. But NiP's forcing the issue. That's the big thing. If they can start to force them out of positions or catch them off early, then they'll have a chance.
Yeah, might rotate him for another round for now. A lot of banging coming through the mid doors. They're trying to pull that extra player off B, I feel. And in fact, nope. TSM, they refuse to do it. They're just watching down from up on the B doors. That's Device doing the jumping. And no one's revealing themselves. Even Zipnix. How defensive can you get with this M4? That's exactly where NiP are going. Do they smoke him out? They've got him available, and yep, here comes the smokes, flashes, everything they got. He sprays through it, and already managed to find Get Right while being flashed up. The incoming entry, Forrest walking through that fire, just burning it out. And Alu doesn't want to go through either. Dupree, they had the perfect crossfire. Dupree just waits perfectly. And now TSM, 12 rounds to 13.
And they're doing it with style. This is awesome teamwork. Throw out the can of fire, force the man out. Dupree sits on the backside, not even going to get covered off, and watches window. Crossfire set on both entry points, plus a bait position if they run in. I mean, that's just awesome setup.
Yeah. We do have ourselves a pause now as NiP, they know they've lost control. They've lost complete control of the second half. Even had TSM asking, it's like, is there a problem? And we were reassured by the NiP guys. It's like, no, we just need a minute. Because at the moment, they can't find these entry frags. The long A, you're saying it's not working. Where do they go to now? We keep talking about B, but is that even an option?
I mean, that round, they definitely had it set up. The difference is, again, when they run that default, the thing that relies on their B is catching out someone early on the rotation. Again, so if Xyp9x gets back towards CT and reads it correctly, that then lets the second player go up inside B, which we saw with that crossfire. If Forrest gets long, not at that time it looked like they opened up Catwalk because, again, Cajun went down. They had to play for that win first before they could rotate back and play for the platform. But even if they can trap him at long, that opens up your mid a lot more. So it's not just one option that becomes the possibility from catching that rotate player. Yeah. That's why I'm putting a lot of focus and a lot of pressure on Xyp9x. He's the one that has to be almost in perfect position every single time. I don't think B's completely closed for business, but if they're going to take it, they have to find a pick either at mid on Xyp9x or catch him off at A and prevent him from getting over there to stop that mid push.
But it just seems so difficult. Every time they look towards, like, even on long A, they can't get there in time. You run Forrester, but he has to walk over the top of Fire to even get there, and they don't get the kill even when that happens.
Remember, too, though, that B is extremely hard to retake. So by having two in the site, that's a huge disadvantage. But even if they can trade those off on the TSM side, and get the bomb down, that's a very hard retake. Obviously, Ninjas in Pajamas showed off massive class last night in doing it, but that's not going to happen every round.
Flashes, smokes, trying to go towards the long A. Forrest will be able to get out of here. He's trying to keep their attention, and it worked. He's actually managed to drag the player off, but at the same time, so Forrest gets the kill. That Ninjas in Pajamas didn't commit where I thought they were going to. They flashed down mid instead. And with the smoke, they cover the cross, expecting them to walk through the mid doors. But TSM, they're not taking the bait. Initially they did, they dragged the player over to A. Now they're more worried about what's happening on the B. Speaking of B, Cajun has to be able to control. Misses the first shot. Forrest is down to 4, however, so he goes into the pistol, but you got NiP with these pistols. They're in close, but they're not finding the kills. They might get the plant down, but as Cajun B going big, Freiburg still alive for now as Forrest gets shut down on long. Freiburg still keeping the fight going. He's down low, and Device able to get him from above. So round will still go the way here of TSM.
You gotta love how Dupree just kept moving with the M4. Not sit still for that pistol, use the movement speed and hope that he can spam away. Does so. This is getting a lot closer now, that's for sure. In fact, if I can just do my math, 3, 7, 8, 5, yeah, we're on a tie game already. So this is 13-13 now.
For all the work NiP did then, like with the pistols, they find the entry frags, but they cannot finish the job.
And a double op this time, so Device is going to go for it. This puts him inside B as well. So here's your mid opening. They're going to have to rotate accordingly, and look how they do it. It's not the same way they have been.
Alu still needs to get this extra information. Yeah, it's just that CT spawn AWPer. They keep him back. The Molotovs in mid, trying to find anyone who's maybe sitting in close. But there's no boost up, and Freiburg, he's aware of this. So the mid doors is completely clear. And TSM is just all about the defense. Xyp9x has the M4. In fact, he's now going to smoke up, feeling that movement is coming up through Cat. And they've got both long A as well as Cat pretty much locked. Even the nade, Freiburg catching it with his scalp. Dropping lower. And that's why you wear helmets.
And they're actually committing Device all the way to that long pick from the platform at B. This leaves Dupree to be the one to rotate fast with the rifle. Not a full commitment right now from NiP, though. Yeah,
time's running out. They've got 36 seconds left on the clock. There's still another 2 Molotovs in for Device as well as Dupree, so how are you meant to get him? The flashes come, the smokes as well. More flashes. They still haven't come out. The smokes are actually really good. They've locked off that vision. And GetRight and Carrigan get through. Cajun B putting that AWP to work. He's battling with the pole, but GetRight gets the upper hand. And they also get the kill on Xyp9x. This is the biggest chance NiP have had now. Dupree's moving up as quick as he can from CT ramp. As he sees Freiburg moving into short A, he can at least give Device that information. But Freiburg, can he win that battle? Yes, he can. It's all up to Dupree. Last man standing and last man to drop. 14 rounds to 13. Ninjas in Pajamas. They finally win themselves a round for a very long time.
And not only win themselves a round, prevent having to be in a forced situation and potentially give up that 15th round to TSM. So back to the lead. Back to the guns. Of course, lots of money for TSM to work with. They'll go right back into a single op setup this time. It's only going to be Cajun B. Alu can't collect that shot on the cross, but watch up close. Okay, late smoke. easily gets across. That's Device that was looking for the late positional play, and Zipnix is already rotating back, so they've already got establishment. Cajun's going to play for the off angle. That means the drop comes into effect if NiP try and run up catwalk.
NiP trying to actually throw a lot more over onto the B side. That's not where they're going. They're just throwing it that way. Molotov again to clean up the other side of the doors. As NiP are trying to force TSM back into that CT spawn. Make them feel like they're still going towards the A. This is going to be the big moment here with Device. If Alu can get this initial hit, but they're sitting in so close with Dupree as well. I doubt NiP will fall for the same thing, because Dupree did almost exactly the same play 4 or 5 rounds ago now. In fact, yeah, they just decided to go a different way. Still 52 seconds on the clock, so Ninjas in Pajamas not pressured to go in yet. But TSM, they're also timing up nicely with these smokes and Molotovs. Able to slow down NiP. They've only got the 2 mollies left now. And it looks like it's going to be a B commitment.
Yeah, they're slowly grouping in that position.
Zipnix up on the boxes. He's looking to jump down Exist as well as Freiburg. He's going to move into the fire. He's used so many of his balls. He still gets the kill over on Exist and backs up to the CT spawn. The movement's coming in the meantime through Upper Dark. Blind Dupree finding 1, looking for 2. Alu will get the victory here, but Device wasting entire clips to try and get the kills.
And this is massive because he forces himself outside the site. The retake's still going to look good, though, because they're already through the window. Zipnix does find 1, and Kerrigan's behind. Doesn't matter. We're knotted right back up, 14 apiece. And TSM, again, Zipnix, he has to be the player in the clutch. He gets the 1 kill, falls off of it. That slows down your mid approach. Device then has the security of falling out. That could have given up a lot more position, but with Kerrigan already in tunnels, they know they can pinch back in together, and that's exactly what they do.
And this investment from NiP. Where is this initial pick, Alu? He can't do it again, aiming too high. As Ninjas in Pajamas run underneath this scope. And NiP, they need to find the picks anywhere they can. TSM's playing a little bit more aggressive, so they do have some, okay, so Zipnix more aggressive than he's been playing previously. But they don't want to come through those double doors, not in mid yet. In fact, they just popped the bomb up onto short. Leave it behind so you can have a peek. That's Freiburg moving up. Still patience. Freiburg's actually got the ability to walk directly onto the A side. The only issue he's kind of got is Cage and B with that AWP watching the cat cross. And with a good smoke, you can keep him out.
This is standard formation. It's as you'd expect right now from TSM. The problem is that NiP aren't finding the openings. This time they do have a different approach. Forrest is already out middle, and they've got catwalk, so they'll catch off 1 rotator.
They're pretty flash, though. But here they come. Cage and B, can he get this initial pick? The first one, yes, it will be. Freiburg to drop. Exist is the next one having a look, but Cage and B goes 2 for 2. Looking for a third. Can he pull off the hat trick? He's getting a little bit flashed up again, and Alu's going to get the plant down. And that's big for him. Can he get back with this? Forrest still holding on short as Zipnix moving up through Cat. They got Get Right and Forrest down. Alu, the last man standing on top of the bomb site. But can they make this the 15th round now for TSM? Yes, they can. The defuse will come in, and they have 1 match point. Already taking the first map up against NiP. They need 1 round to go into the grand final.
That'd be huge for TSM. And you have to think that for NiP, this is so discouraging. They're riding, no pun intended, Cloud9 after last night's victory against Envious. They finally get that monkey off their back. They've got to come into this fully invigorated, thinking this is their best chance at a tournament in a long time. And suddenly TSM, who's had a huge, I have to say, a huge improvement in their form lately, are giving the game to them. I mean, this is a great comeback from them. Full momentum and full marks to them. More so because they didn't get the pistol in this half either. They've done this the hard way, and they're holding station. They're not overcommitting to these rotations. They're playing it by default. They're finding the picks, more importantly, and NiP's just not getting any openings.
Yep. And they need to force one now. You've only got Tech-9, CZs, and AKs. There's not much more to play with, so they just run it out there. Cage and B, it's up to him again. There's your first pick shot. Can he get the second? And no, he cannot. Hits the wall, but they're completely flashed up. The Molotovs as well. Switch over the pistol. Exist gets in. This is the big chance here for NiP. They must hold the high ground, but Kerrigan bringing in the M4. Takes out 1, looking for Forrest. Going to take out the second. The plant might go down, but it's only Alu again. And this could be the round, and there it is. TSM are going to the CSGO Championship Series Grand Final.
Well done. And again, I know I talked about, look how pumped they are. They haven't been to, I mean, this is big. This is big for them. This is a team that's had so many issues late in tournaments, and they performed. That was perfection.
How long has it been?
A long time. I mean, disincluding Copenhagen Games, obviously, but I mean, I highlight Zipnik so many times because he's in that clutch position. He stays alive that time. Cajun went down. They were already on the site. He stays alive. They suddenly turn their attention to him, and Kerrigan just shows up and says, I'm still here, guys. You didn't put anyone along to keep me busy, so I'll just come in and get some kills. That's an awesome performance. And again, NiP, they went much like last night, catwalk, 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 cat. Where's that mid presence that we used to see from them? Where's the mid takes? This is a whole different Dust2 in what we've seen in the last 2 days than what CSGO has normally been presenting us. So congratulations to TSM. They're the first team to move into the grand final. And now we get Fnatic, NiP. I mean, we're getting all the big matches that everyone anticipated before the grand final. So TSM, I mean, these guys are going to be worn out. They're going to be exhausted from the road they had to take. Everyone's got hard matches. TSM is, this is seize the day, my friends. Carpe diem. This is your best chance. Take it. Awesome from them. And keep in mind, they haven't dropped a map yet. Perfect form.
Well, we'll see if they can do it in the grand final. Of course, let's have a look at the analysts. I say look at them. Also hear the analysts to see what they have to say about the last match.
You can have a look at us as well.
Yeah, you can look.
May as well.
Smooth transition, Tobes. I like that one, mate. That
Talking's hard.
Hats off.
That's that was one of the Dota classics there. Right. Anyway, let's.
I think his words got
He's
sucked
been
into a
doing a
black
great
hole.
job, guys. Lay off him on social media.
His words got sucked into a black hole.
Right. Let's do this.
One of his beloved black holes.
You're so sharp, Thorin. You could cut yourself. Let's talk
Edgy.
about what we've just seen. I did talk about this prophecy I had, this vision of TSM winning the whole tournament and you just being a depressed person as a result of it. I
should clarify, it's only like the ownership of TSM I don't like. As a team, I actually like some of their players. Device is one of my favorites.
Okay, well, it's going to be bittersweet, I think, because they're looking real good. I mean, they
haven't lost a map in the tournament so far.
I mean, we talked about how they choked and how that was a feature. This was almost like a reverse because it looked like maybe NiP were going to kind of run away with this one, and actually TSM dug deep, battled back, and managed to close out a game.
And one of the guys doing it was Device. That's the thing. This one counted. This was why they came against NiP, the one who had caused them the most heartache over the years, that always beat them in this position. And not only did they win here, but you have to realize, okay, TSM made the final of Copenhagen Games, but that was because this was the 1 year Copenhagen Games didn't have many good teams there. That one doesn't really count as like you made the final finally. This time they've made the first real final of a tournament, not only with good teams, but the best teams. So this is getting over the hurdle. This one counts basically.
What do you think's been the difference here? Because when we were doing our day one analysis, we were like, okay, we've got 3 of the 4 best teams in the world here, and we had TSM kind of in 5th according to Thorin's listings, and we were like, well, you know, they're going to really struggle here. They've probably looked the most accomplished team out of anyone we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I also pointed out that I've been waiting for that sparkling moment from them where they just shine and outshine people because they do possess all that skill that they have in that team. And we're seeing a glimpse of that. Let's not get too much ahead of ourselves, though. I mean, it's another part. It's one part to like climb up there. It's another thing to really make it sustainable.
Well, whoever they're going to end up playing in the final, it's going to be it's a tough order for them. But I mean, of course, they've got the benefit now of being able to rest for the rest of the day, relax, maybe go back to the hotel, watch some demos, come up with some new strategies. They're in a very good spot. Let's just give a little bit of thought about NiP's performance, and then we'll go over at the stage for an interview. But I mean, were NiP disappointing here, or were just TSM better than them?
I can't say they were entirely disappointing. Like map 1 was a bit too easy. Yeah, it looked like map 1. NiP was doing well. It's TSM who was choking a bit and made the score look close. This map here, obviously NiP did great the first half. That was no problems there. But it's actually uncharacteristic for NiP to kind of let it slip away like that and gradually. I mean, you saw that when they did that pause when it was 7-3 in the second half. NiP looked like they were like, fresh out of ideas. Like, what do we even do on T-side here? And then they actually reverted to. It's a thing I noticed on Dust2. When teams run out of ideas, all they'll do is slowly go up catwalk every time. And basically, you just hope you win all the aim duels all the way out. And it's very rare it happens, actually. So, I mean, it looked to me to, like, exist. He just was frustrated. He didn't know what to do. And obviously, they had that's the thing that's really gotten TSM this far. All the maps they've been on so far, they've had to win on the CT side. Bizarrely, they keep starting T side every time. Yeah. They've always won it on the CT side, which famously was their strength before, but now they're getting enough T rounds where the solid CT half just wins them the game.
I'll get your thoughts a little bit later. We are going to come back to the desk at some point, of course, but now we need to go over to our wonderful hosts. We're going to be having an interview with a representative of the victorious TSM. Take it away, guys.
That's us. Thank you so much. We are down here with Dupree once again from TSM. And for a stacked bracket coming into this tournament, we had 4 teams, and I think some people considered you guys the underdog. So for you to be the first team to make it all the way into the final match, I know you have a lot of feelings about this. This is the first time you said TSM has made it into the finals this way. Talk to me.
It's just a relief finally. It's kind of untrue right now because we tried so many times and we've always fell short. Like, it was so great actually winning 16-14 instead of losing 16-14. So, and that we won like 2-0 is even better. So, I don't know, we're just super happy, and I don't know, it's kind of wild right now for us, but yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about the game against NiP.
Well, we came pretty prepared to how we should play the game. That's why we actually we had a really good idea what they were doing on Inferno. That's why we got such a good start, I think. And then they pulled off some really good, like they started playing really well. There were some good strategies and timings, and that we had really troubles holding them back as CT. But then we just, in the end, we took a timeout and we talked about like what's going wrong, what can we do if they do this again, and then it actually worked out for us getting the last couple of rounds to win the first game. And the same, like we came off to like not the best start, but like it was decent on. It was 5-5 when it was passed, and then we lost the 5 remaining rounds as terrorist, and we lose a really unfortunate round where we like 1-3 on A side, and we were like, oh shit, this is not good. But then we just like, as we always do, like take one round at a time, and we know that we get the momentum going. We're playing so strong, and that's why we won this game.
Okay, another round of applause for your first finalist, TSM. Don't go anywhere, guys, because in a few seconds we will come back with the losers bracket final, NiP versus Fnatic.
Me to the ground now, and somehow I feel like you don't know me.
Coming down, Freiburg gets the MP7 out, 1-2, Alu's there, and they just double team TSM in the short.
A lackluster performer, I guess you could say, on Inferno. Alu already taking a number of shots into him as well. 4 HP on Freiburg. He pops back up, but Freiburg with 4, that's all he needs.
His angle is perfect, so there's your first pickup. Taking out Device, looks for the second, gets him 2. Cajun B goes down. Alu and Forest teaming up and get right. The perfect line. It is just pistols right now from Team Solo mid. What's more important for NiP, not a single weapon shall be lost here. I take that back. Forest is actually going to get dropped. Waiting for him, up on Goose, Dupree takes out 1, looking for the second through the barrels, get right, he is going to drop, tries to battle up against Long, just gets brought down, and Forrest is the last man left standing, brings down Carrigan, he's been done from 2 sides, looking in towards short where Device runs out, Device goes down quickly, and Forrest is the pistol from Zipnix, he switches up the gun, he picked up the gun and started to pull the pin back.
6 HP, 1 bullet, he had it inside the magazine. There's 20 bullets in a 5.7 clip, and he goes
1-2. Exist has more life, but he's playing from Goose. Gonna drop a Device. Quick succession, gets the defuse out.
Change back, damage is dealt, but does Device get in position fast enough? Yes, he does. So based on the call, he'll get there. Meanwhile, on the other side, Cajun B's already found 1. Dupree's gonna chime in as well, and Device closes off the round. Walk again from NiP.
Yeah, Cajun B, there's number 1. Looking for more, but there's also the drop down. There's number